It seems like just about every state with a major lake or large body of water has its own legendary aquatic cryptid, and Maryland is no exception. In fact, the Chesapeake Bay serpent, often called Chessie, has become one of the most enduring and intriguing water monster legends on the East Coast. Now, Chessie is typically described as being 30 to 35 feet long, with a long snake-like body. Over the years, it's been reportedly seen by fishermen, Navy personnel, and even FBI agents. Sightings have taken place all around the Chesapeake Bay, leading some to believe that whatever it is, it's more than just a local myth. One of the earliest possible sightings dates back to 1846, when a ship captain sailing between Cape Henry and Cape Charles off the eastern shore claimed to have spotted a small-headed, serpent-like creature cutting through the waves. While the description was vague, it marked the beginning of a series of reports that would span nearly 2 centuries. Interest in Chessie exploded in the 1980s, when a wave of sightings brought the creature, just national attention. One of the most famous encounters happened in May of 1982, when a man named Robert Few and his wife were hosting friends at their waterside home. On a calm, clear night, Robert glanced out over the bay and noticed something unusual. He saw a massive, elongated shape, about 30 feet long, floating against the current. The creature had a series of humps along its back, a slender serpent body-like, and a head shaped something like that of a horse or a snake. Now Robert and his guests watched the strange being in stunned silence, and were even able to capture a little bit of video footage of it. The sighting made headlines across the country and brought new life to the Chessie legend. The Chessie hasn't vanished. Not at all. In fact, one of the more recent reports come in 2014. 2 friends were driving along the Magothy River when they spotted a massive snake-like creature in the water, about 35 feet long with a football-shaped head. Though the encounter was brief, it added yet another entry to Chessie's growing list of appearances. Whether Chessie is misunderstood, an undiscovered species, or something stranger entirely, its presence in Maryland lore is undeniable. Sightings continue to trickle in, keeping the legend alive for new generations of curious onlookers.
Number 2. One of Maryland's most famous cryptids is the Goatman, a terrifying half-man, half-goat creature said to roam the woods near Bowie in Prince George's County, according to local legend. This axe-wielding monster jumps out of the forest to scare, chase, and sometimes even attack people. Descriptions vary a bit, but most agree the Goatman walks upright like a human, has the hairy legs and hooves of a goat, and either a human-like or fully goat-like head with horns, beard, and let's not forget his weapon of choice, a rusty axe. The most well-known origin story claims the Goatman was once a scientist working at the Beltsville Agricultural Research Center just outside Bowie. Supposedly, he was doing experiments on goats when something went horribly wrong. Some say he was trying to create a goat-human hybrid through genetic engineering. Others think he was testing goat feed that caused strange side effects. Either way, the story ends the same. The scientist transformed into a terrifying creature, then fled into the woods. Sightings of the Goatman really took off in the 1970s. Locals reported seeing a big, hairy creature walking on 2 legs, and it seemed to hate teenagers and cars. One of the most famous incidents happened in 1971 when a group of teens said they were attacked while parked at a secluded lover's lane. They claimed the Goatman burst from the woods swinging an axe and screaming. They drove off unharmed, but their car had deep gashes in the metal, like something had chopped it with a blade. And then after that, throughout the 1970s, reports like these popped up regularly. Another notable one took place in November of 1971, right near Bowie yet again. A dog belonging to a girl named April Edwards had disappeared. After she and her friends heard noises coming from outside their house. A few days later, the dog was found with its head missing. While investigating the area, Ray and John Hayden reported seeing a hairy bipedal creature around 6 feet tall with horns and goat-like legs. It let out a high-pitched squeal before fleeing into the nearby woods. He wasn't just spotted in the woods either. There were reports of Goatman walking through residential neighborhoods, including downtown Bowie, late at night, with glowing red eyes. Whether the Goatman was an actual creature or just the result of overactive imaginations, he definitely left his mark on the community. Number 3.
Heading northwest from Prince George's County, we arrive in the wooded hills of Carroll County, home to one of Maryland's lesser known but equally mysterious cryptids, the Sykesville Monster. While the Goatman has long held a place in Maryland folklore, the Sykesville Monster is a more recent addition to the state's collection of strange creatures. Reports of the elusive figure first emerged in the early 1970s when residents of the small town of Sykesville began whispering about a large, hairy being lurking in the forest nearby. Descriptions of the creature varied in size, but most eyewitnesses agreed. The Sykesville Monster is a large bipedal humanoid standing between 6 and 8 feet tall, with a body covered in dark, shaggy hair, resembling a giant ape. Some even claimed it had glowing red eyes, adding to its unsettling presence. One of the strangest details reported, tickling or clicking sound that it allegedly makes, almost a clock or mechanical device like. This unusual trait has led some to speculate that the monster may not be of flesh and blood at all, but possibly a mechanical, even robotic in nature. One of the most detailed sightings come from Lon Strickler, who says that he came face to face with the monster in 1981 while fishing near the Papsco River. According to Strickler, he was casting his line when he spotted a large hairy figure on the opposite side of the riverbank. Before he could react, a stray dog approached the creature, and a violent confrontation broke out. Strickler watched in shock as the beast fought off the dog, all while emitting its signature ticking noise. Eventually, the dog fled, badly shaken. Strickler immediately contacted local police, but by the time he had returned to the spot, the area had been taped off. He claims multiple police cruisers, several unmarked vehicles were already on the scene, suggesting something serious had taken place. Strangely, when Strickler tried to follow up on the incident, he said police refused to even acknowledge his report. He also reached out to local news stations, but none were willing to cover his story. The entire event, it seemed, was swept under the rug. What exactly is the Sykesville Monster? Genuine cryptid, misunidentified animal, or could it even be an elaborate hoax? We may never know.
Number 4. It was a cold February morning in 1909 when Charles Maine, a local man living just outside of Middletown, Maryland, rushed into the Valley Register office in a panic. his face pale and his hand shaking. He demanded to speak to the editor. "I saw it. By God, I saw it," he stammered. "A beast in the sky, big as a wagon, with wings like a bat, and a single glowing eye." Maine described the creature as having metallic feathers, a long pointed beak with sharp teeth, and tentacles that withered from its mouth like a nest of snakes. It let out an ear-splitting screech as it flew overhead, casting a shadow across the farm fields as it passed. The Valley Register published the report under the headline, "Strange Monster Sighting. Sighting Startles Middletown Residents." The Snallygaster is Maryland's most bizarre and unique cryptids, described as a mix between a dragon and a bird, with the unsettling addition of tentacles pouring from its mouth. This creature sounds like something straight out of a nightmare. While it's considered native to Maryland, the first reported sighting of the Snallygaster date to 1909, around the same time people began seeing the Jersey Devil in neighboring New Jersey. The creature's unusual name comes from the German phrase Scheitenler-Geist, meaning quick spirit. German immigrants brought the term to the area, and over time it evolved into something more familiar, Snallygaster. Early reports appeared in Middletown Valley Register in 1909. Locals described a one-eyed dragon flying over western Maryland, occasionally venturing into West Virginia. One popular legend claims that President Theodore Roosevelt delayed an African safari to try hunting the Snallygaster. The monster made headlines in 1932 when a local moonshiner reported that the Snallygaster was drawn into the smell of fermenting mash, overwhelmed by the fumes. It supposedly dove into a vat and drowned.
Number 5.
Lurking in the woods of Maryland is a terrifying creature known as the Dwayyo. Described as a wolf-like beast, it stands upright like a human, covered in dark fur, with a long bushy tail, dog-like snout, and powerful forelimbs it uses like arms. Witnesses say it's about 6 feet tall and built for both speed and strength. According to local folklore, the Dwayyo is sworn enemy of the Snallygaster, another Maryland cryptid said to be a winged reptilian creature that sucks blood from its victims. Their battles supposedly go way back to the early settlement of Middletown Valley. The name Dwayyo first appeared in the connection to a 1944 sighting in West Middleton, Frederick County. Locals reported hearing terrifying screams echoing through the woods. Strange tracks were also found, adding weight to the eyewitness accounts. The Dwayyo didn't gain real public attention until about November 27th of 1965, when a story appeared in the Frederick News Post. According to the article, a man known only as John Becker was near Gambrel State Park one evening whenever he heard something moving in the woods. As he turned back to head inside, he spotted a huge, hairy creature emerging from the shadow. It was as big as a bear, with black fur, a bushy tail, and glowing red eyes. It growled like an angry dog before rising upon 2 legs and lunging at it. Becker fought off the creature with his bare hands before it fled back into the forest. Shaken, he reported the incident to local police under the pseudonym. In the report, he called the creature the Dwayyo. After the article was published, more reports began to surface. Local newspapers received a flood of letters and phone calls. Throughout Frederick County, people claimed to have seen and heard the creature in the nearby woods. By the end of December, the frenzy had died down. In the summer of 1966, another sighting occurred near Gambrel State Park. A man identified only as Jim A. was heading toward the campsite when he came across the Dwayyo. He described it as tall, two-legged beast about the size of a deer, covered in shaggy brown fur. Its head was triangular with pointed ears and a chin. The creature let out a horrible scream before backing away. Jim noticed its bizarre walk. Its legs stuck out from the sides, giving it a spider-like gait as it retreated into the forest. In 1976, two men were driving near Thurman, just off Route 77, when they saw something large dash across the road. They described it as 6 feet tall, but leaned forward as it ran. It had the head of a wolf, muscular back legs like a kangaroo, and slim forearms held out in front. The lower half of its body had distinct stripes, darker and lighter bands of fur. This wasn't an ape or a Bigfoot, one of the witnesses said. It looked more like a wolf or something like some kind of savage dog. But it was definitely walking upright.
Man, what do you think of these Maryland cryptids? I hadn't heard of most of them.
I hadn't either, man. Like I said, most of them I hadn't. But man, so neat.
You know what I think?
What's that?
I think the reason the Dwayyo hates the Snarlygaster is because the pronunciation of that German name that I know I messed up.
It could be, man. Could very well be.
That's what started the feud.
That could be what making all these cryptids angry. Is all these weird names and words.
We apologize. I know y'all are going to eat us alive on the pronunciations, but every time it never fails. You said it wrong. Well, dude, I don't live there.
We're not from these areas. You know, we just read about it and hear about it and things. And, you know, we just pass along the stories as they come into us. But yeah, if we're not from the area, odds are we are probably going to butcher it. Not only because of, like I said, you know, we're not from there, but because, you know, with our hillbilly accents, you know, it don't really work for us.
Oh, man.
Lord knows subtitles hates us.
Oh, yeah. Subtitles, everything.
It's so bad.
Oh, but yeah. Man. And then my videos come out. It says it detects multiple languages. I'm like, what? I think I told you about that last week.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Well, let's see. What have we got here? We've got the Chesapeake Bay Serpent, Chessie.
Yeah, which is really neat. You know, I mean, we've heard of tons of creatures that's similar to this. But, you know,
this one was captured on video.
Yeah, you know, it said they had this one on video, and you know that just adds more to the credibility of you know our things like Chessie and Nessie. You know, are they like a similar creature? Are they sort of maybe related somehow, or could it even be the same creature?
Could be, or maybe the same species or family or something.
Yeah, you know, because we've only scratched the surface of exploring the depths of the ocean.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so there's no telling what's down there.
Oh, yeah. And then there's the Goatman of Prince George's County. I had heard of that one for a long time, but I'd never heard a whole lot about it.
Right.
Until I looked into this one, but that was one I had heard of. Have you heard of it?
Now, this one I had not. And I said, this and I hadn't.
It does sound a lot like the one in Kentucky, even the part where it carries an axe.
Yeah,
the one in Kentucky carried an axe too, if I remember right.
Yeah, and a lot of the a couple of the origins of it, like people, you know, some people believe, you know, it started with this and this. You know, it's kind of similar too, you know. But man, it's just so spooky, you know.
Yeah.
You see all these cryptids, like I said, like Chessie and Nessie, and then Goatman, Maryland, Kentucky. It makes you think, all these people with all these, all these eyewitnesses, coming forward and
Mm-hmm.
stuff, with all these eyewitnesses, there's no possible way that everybody's making it up.
Yeah. Oh, the Snallygaster. That was one I'd heard of two of these before, and Snallygaster was the other one. I heard about it in West Virginia, though, and yeah, this does say it was seen in West Virginia. But this thing sounds terrifying. It
does.
Tentacles coming out of its mouth. A dragon with tentacles coming out of its mouth.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's like, golly, man.
Oh, geez.
That's like something out of a nightmare.
How do you think it eats?
Anything it wants. But I don't know, man. That's spooky.
Mm-hmm.
I said, that's just like something out of a nightmare.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Man. Now, the Wolfman was definitely interesting sounding. They said that it sounded like it was mechanical or like a robot.
Yeah,
People started seeing it pretty early, too. I mean, we didn't have robots back then,
Yeah. Well, now, the general public didn't. There's no telling what the government may have had.
Some people I read some people calling it animatronics, but I don't know. Were animatronics around back then? I honestly
don't know.
Yeah, I wasn't around. I can't say.
Yeah, that's a little for our time, so we don't. Yeah. But now, it is interesting, So, I don't know. I said, I've heard of animals and stuff making like clicking like noises.
Mm-hmm.
And insects and stuff. So maybe it's something like that.
Yeah, there's some bugs. I've definitely heard some bugs out in the woods making clicking sounds.
Yeah, so I mean, who knows? Maybe it's like a mimicker, and when it yeah, I mean, when it feels danger or something, it makes that clicking sound.
Ooh. Man.
That makes it even spookier, doesn't it?
Dude, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be able to sleep tonight. I'm be scared I'm going to wake up and hear a clicking sound coming from the woods.
Yeah, Jimmy's going to wake up at 3 a.m. I'm going to be right there beside him saying, I can't sleep either, man.
Man, oh man. Now, I think I've driven through Maryland a couple times, maybe twice, but I've never really, I don't have any memories of ever stopping in Maryland for anything or much about what it looks like.
Now, I've never been there myself, but I have, I've known people that's, been through there and stopped and said it's, it's an amazing place. It's beautiful. The people is amazing, wonderful place. But I said, never been there myself.
Yeah, I mean, what do you guys think? Do we have listeners from Maryland do you think stuff like these things could be hiding in Maryland? Let us know.
Yeah, we definitely want to hear from you folks.
And then, I mean, even if you're not from Maryland, let us know what you think of these Maryland cryptids in the comments. Did you enjoy the video? What state should we cover next?
Ooh,
I just randomly, I had a wild hair and decided to do, we were going to record today, and I decided to do some research on Maryland cryptids. I don't know why. Something told me to do it.
Hey, I always go with that gut feeling, man.
Yeah, when you get a feeling like this, I've learned in life, go with it.
Yep.
Watch the video explode and go viral.
That'd be amazing.
Yep.
Yeah, speaking of which, folks, be sure you share these videos out on all your social media platforms, all your Facebook groups, everywhere. Blast it out everywhere.
Write it on the stall in Walmart bathroom. The URL to it.
Oh, man.
But yeah, we hope you enjoyed the story. Make sure to like, subscribe. Jared already mentioned, share it out. But also, be sure to check out Jared's channel, Jared King TV. He does not only spooky stories, but he does all kinds of Appalachian stories, stories from fans.
Yep.
And of course, there's spooky stuff. He has a Friday Night Fright stream every Friday
Yes.
dedicated to spooky stories. So be sure
Absolutely.
to go check out his channel, subscribe, send him some love.
100%. Come on over. We'd love to have you.
Yeah. And I'll be there too. But
Absolutely.
don't forget, folks, stay
Stay
spooky.
spooky.